Brother. When Xiao Qinghuan rose to hug her brother, her eyes began to get red once more. After 2 years of waiting, her brother was finally released from prison. Xiao Qingrong turned to face Sheng Yanhui, who was standing to the side, indifferently nodding. Sheng Yanhui also gave Xiao Qingrong a complicated look. 6 months had passed since their last meeting, yet Xiao Qingrong had not changed. After being released from prison, Sheng Yanhui used the Qinglong gang and his own abilities to seize leadership of the Shengyan family. He took away his father's authority and committed an illegitimate son to a mental institution. He's now in charge of the Sheng household. Let's get out of here. Sheng Yanhui could see why this young man was picked to be the successor on occasion, but he wasn't sure if he should be envious of him. He had no idea how enigmatic Xiao Qingrong was. The three climbed into the car. It was a dark-colored sports automobile. After everyone had boarded, Sheng Yanhui gave the driver instructions, and they set off. Xiao Qinghuan had a lot to say to her brother, but she paused when she spotted his indifferent expression. Xiao Qingrong, on the other hand, has already begun to pose a question to 618 after only sitting down. I feel there is an issue with your data, 618. The developer of the completely driverless car, who was recently freed from prison, has already made an appearance. Can you tell me what's going on? Similarly unsure, 618 hastened to find out the specifics. The host was discovered to have invented the completely autonomous car, but why was it already produced? I'm sorry, but I have no idea what happened. I'll double-check. 618 loved its newly acquired host as a system. So it jumped right into investigating it, even tapping into the global network, only to discover that this cutting-edge, totally autonomous car was first publicized a year ago, when the state-owned corporation formally announced the sale. In just 1 year, it has amassed massive global sales. But the host was certainly still detained a year ago. 618 no longer instilled trust in Xiao Qingrong. But he was uninterested in this completely automated vehicle. It was preferable to dissect the bodies. After 30 minutes, Xiao Qingrong was transported to the Banshan Villa in Anyang City, where Xian Yi is presently residing and under police surveillance. As soon as he and the Shengyan entered the villa, he noticed Xian Yi and Liang Xian sitting in the hall. Hello there, Qingrong. Because he admired Xian Yi, Xiao Qingrong was recognized as the man's grandson. After taking a seat, Xiao Qingrong hurried everyone to begin cooking his favorite dinner. He was happy with his life, but he couldn't go for a walk. I need a lab, Grandpa Xian. Can you afford it? While eating, Xiao Qingrong stated his desire. Sheng Yanhui and Liang Xian, who were sitting next to each other, couldn't help but stare at him. They were aware of Xiao Qingrong's extravagant request. I'm sure I can afford it, but how much money does it take to create a lab? Xian Yi noticed Xiao Qingrong eating like a youngster. Xiao Qingrong calculated that the resources he needed in the system learning space would cost only a few $100 million. He thought Xian Yi still had the money. Xian Yi listened without surprise. Xian Ye's grandson was constantly full of secrets, and it was because of this that Xian Yi believed Xiao Qingrong could rule over everyone in the Qinglong gang. It's okay, but Qingrong, you need to help Grandpa control the Qinglong gang. Grandpa can build you a lab, but it would only be fair if you helped Grandpa. When Xian Yi turned to face Xiao Qingrong, he noticed that the youth had grown up during his 2 years in prison. If he requested anything, there would be an equal trade. Xiao Qingrong was unconcerned about this. Prior to that, he was the president of a company that employed about 100,000 people. It wouldn't take long to manage a tiny gang. That's not an issue. This is exactly what I require. Simply put, buy it. A book with images stood in front of Xian Yi. This book was taken from the jail by Xiao Qingrong. It was full of the goods that Xiao Qingrong needed. Xian Yi nodded and smiled, but she didn't accept it. Okay, Grandpa will prepare your stuff. Xing Yan will take you to see the gang this afternoon. You are the successor to the Qinglong gang and my grandson. You must tell them how wonderful you are, okay? The gang was full of troublemakers, something this grandfather's grandson despised. I hope this child can figure it out. Okay, I get what you mean. Xiao Qingrong mumbled as he chewed on the braised pork. He couldn't figure out why Ceirin said that. Wasn't it simply a gang? Why not just beat them when they defy orders? Ceirin had no idea his grandson was dissatisfied with his management. He had Xing Yanhui take Xiao Qingrong to his room after dinner so he could familiarize himself with it. To commemorate his return, Xiao Qingrong was given not only a large room but also a makeover. He changed into a young prince after putting on his outfit. That's accurate, given his clean, innocent face. No one would equate his frail-looking body in an expensive suit with gangsters. Xing Yanhui escorted Xiao Qingrong to the Qinglong gang gathering hall in the afternoon. Despite her concerns for her brother, Xiao Qinghuan was left in the villa since men have to deal with this type of situation. While seated in the car, Xing Yanhui saw that Xiao Qingrong appeared entirely uninterested in the individuals he was about to meet. He was uncertain about what would happen and questioned the elder's capacity to effectively handle Xiao Qingrong. Xing Yan was on his way to warn Qingrong. The Qinglong gang has 4 elders, despite the fact that it currently lacks a leader. These 4 people have been with the Qinglong gang from its inception. The 4 elders have grown in prominence since the godfather was imprisoned for 8 years. They have shown some restraint, but because you are the heir, you may be targeted. How could the elders, who had wielded power for so long, give it up? The statements of Xing Yanhui were cut short. In addition, Ceirin was handing over the keys to the Qinglong gang to a young man. How were those 4 elders able to reach an agreement? When Xiao Qingrong noticed Xing Yanhui's concern, he blinked innocently. Would we be gangsters if I didn't know we were wonderful people? Xing Yanhui was bewildered by his question and had no idea what Xiao Qingrong was trying to communicate, but he soon became aware of the way his lips curled and his eyes gleamed, as if he were a wolf spotting its prey. Is it true that gangsters follow the strongest? Because they refuse to listen to me, I can only compel them to submit. Xing Yanhui could tell the young man next to him was 19 years old based on his appearance. Yet he still felt intimidated in the same way he did after losing the fight. The rest of the journey was uneventful. Xing Yan opened the door. Many of the gang members who were waiting outside recognized Xing Yan as Ceirin's heir. When Xiao Qingrong got out of the van, everyone was taken aback by his innocent appearance. Many eyes followed his body as he walked, some were curious, while others were malicious. They made their way quickly to the main hall, where the Qinglong gang was in command. The minute Xiao Qingrong entered Qinglong Hall, only those who could enter were admitted. The people sitting on the left and right sides of the room exchanged muttered glances. Each side was made up of 6 people. The latter 2 were a little younger than the previous 2. Ignoring them, Xiao Qingrong proceeded to the Lord's seat and sat. The seat that had previously belonged to Ceirin was chosen. The Qinglong gang's mood quickly altered and became formal in an instant. On the left, an elderly man with white hair snorted and seized the initiative. Who is this guy? Nonetheless, does he understand the rules? This individual is one of the 4 seniors known as Bai Yi. We're all getting old, Baiju. The younger generations have bigger hearts than the sky because of their small relatives. The intimacy he has with Ceirin, his eyes are above the clouds, a big man with facial scars said. He was an elder who was also known as the Lord of the Swords. How can such a frail chicken be our Qinglong gang's young leader? I observe that Ceirin's vision isn't quite working. A different person turned to face Xiao Qingrong, who was sitting in the center of the room and speaking. Xing Yan didn't think Qingrong would take it lying down now that these seniors were using language to criticize him. These seniors verbally insulted Xiao Qingrong as expected, but none of them attempted to engage the young man, obviously satisfied to observe Xiao Qingrong's humiliation. Xiao Qingrong, on the other hand, was simply somewhat angry rather than ashamed. After a while of listening, he became agitated. He hurled the teacup from the table to the ground with a hand motion. When the teacup broke and made a loud bang, everyone's attention was brought back to Xiao Qingrong. When Xianyi chose the air himself, the atmosphere became cold. Xiao Qingrong, who had been happy with the silence, looked around and then smiled provocatively. Is it enough to say that all of you old toads are dishonest? Do you disagree? If you disagree, how about killing me?